Matthew the 13th chapter, the first verse.
What's up right there?
I mean, after the whole multitude stood on the shore. See, he had to separate himself. There was so many men out there. Some were sincere and some was not so sincere. They was only looking for to be fed or to see some kind of miracle, but they didn't. Truly unbelievers. So you had the believers and the unbelievers there. So they was stronger than them. So he had to. There was so many people. So he had to go on a boat and have people on the shore teach them from the boat.
Verse 3. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow.
Now, a parable is a dark saying.
That's right.
A parable is a dark saying. Not too many people can get that dark saying. You have to be learned to get that dark saying. You know? So we.
And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside. Count verse 4. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the frogs came and devoured them up.
Some seeds fall by the wayside. You got some men that come in that hate this truth, but they're not really rooted. They don't really believe, so they're going to fall back out into the world. They're going to go into the world because they don't really believe.
This is
Verse 5.
The seed is the word.
And yeah, but the seed, the seed, he said, yeah. That's why.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
That's the flat earth theory. The flat earth, the theory, the squirrels working with
water leaking.
Being into the getting into the flat earth doctrine. Now they got new doctrine where there was no corn that the promised land is here in America. There was no corn back in the ancient world. A bugged out doctrine that Elder Manatazalaba from South Carolina, North South Carolina, narrator was bringing out, and the dude sound bugged out. He was saying that America is the promised land, but that's neither here nor there. He's not in the truth. He's a bugged out Jake. You know what I mean? You know, but it's bugged out doctrine.
And this is 1 John chapter 2, verse 18 and 19. 1 John 2, verse 19 and 20. Sorry, 18. Little children, it is the last time, as ye have heard, that the anti-Hamashiach shall come. Even now there are many anti-Hamashiachs, whereby we know that it is the last time. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. Yeah. So you get guys that was once amongst the body, even the dudes that was cool, and they fell off and they turned scoffers, they turned non-believers of Yahweh Shai, or they try to take Yahweh, they still saying Yahweh Shai, but they speaking nothing but nonsense. And you're like, man, they was a part of us. No, they was amongst us, but they weren't of us, because if they were, they would have endured to the end. And we ain't even at the end yet. We all praying and hoping that we endure to the end. But you see these guys, that they were manifest, they were made examples of what not to be. This is Proverbs chapter 24, verse 10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small.
Yeah. So you faint in the day of adversity, because I tell you in the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter, the 1st verse, that when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation and constantly endure. Because we're going to go through many things in this truth, man. This truth is sweet when you know that you're an Israelite, but there's a lot of bitterness that comes with this truth, man. Bitterness, stain of robbers, man, is harsh, man. You know, your family going to come up against you. The first one that's going to leave is going to be your woman. She's the first one that's going to go. After your woman go, your family going to come up against you. Your friends are going to come up against you. Social media is so vast. This truth is so vast that certain people may see you on social media and they work on their job, but they start murmuring against you on their job. Well, now you're getting fired. You know?
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 57. It says, Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle. which men that is born upon the earth shall fight, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
That's the kingdom, man. You get the victory, you're gonna receive the kingdom, man. You're gonna suffer, man. You're gonna go through a lot of things. I had this bugged out dream, you know, and I was breaking it down to the brother Shamar. He was telling me that meant that you had the truth, man, because in my dream, it was all kind of chaos going on in the streets, man. You had Jake killing each other in the streets. You had women getting beat down, raped. You know, you had Jake, and now I wasn't in my crib. I was in my woman's crib. It was like a 3-story duplex in which she lived in. There's 3 families that live on it, and she lived on the top floor. And they was beating on the doors, kicking in, saying, "Open the door." And in my dream, in her house, I had like an AK-47 or an M14, and it had a 9mm. And I was like, I don't own none of that. And the brother was telling me that that's the metaphor for the truth. That's for the truth, man. That was that was your protection. And I was just, you know, and I brought it out. I didn't upload it yet, but I was
Demon had that dream, or you had that?
I had the dream, yeah.
My Demon had a dream a couple years ago before the Crown Vic. They were coming banging on the doors.
Yeah, so they was banging on the door, and she was scared, and I was like, oh, so I thought they had I went in the back room and got a 9mm, but I ain't got no guns. So the truth was that he brought it out. He was like, that's the truth, brother. That's spiritual. That's the truth. You should do a video. I said, I'm not gonna do a video. He said, you should do a video on it. So I did the video, and hey, man, that was a heavy dream, man. Back to the black guy right here.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 5. Some fell upon some.
You got a precept? Or 4?
Matthew chapter 13, verse 4. And when he saw it, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Verse 5.
Luke 8:11. Now the parable is this: seed is the word of the Most High.
There you
Seed
go.
is definitely the word of the Most High. It's truth, man. Once you get this truth, and if the Lord is something with you, you're going to grow in the state of bounce, man. If the Lord is something with you, you're going to get caught up in the cares of this life, your family, your job, your woman, your children. Any of them things can snatch you out of the truth, man. And you know, and if you're not rooted and grounded in this truth, all what you have learned is going to leak out of you, man. Like an empty bag, like you have a bag, a plastic bag, and it's leaking, and the water's leaking out slowly but drops. Before you know it, everything is out of you, man.
This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
There's a scripture in 2nd Ezra where Yahushua was putting crowns on the men that's listed for his name. He's putting crowns on their head, man. So those are the men that's going to, in the regeneration, back in the which is going to be in the kingdom, that's going to receive crowns and judging the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Sitting on thrones, man. The governing body, which is the 144th.
Who's going to sit on the first throne?
Yahushua.
Who's going to sit on the first throne?
King David, slap it.
King David, huh? Which is Luke.
This is Peter,
Who else?
Moses,
Who else?
Jacob,
Who else?
Zerubbabel.
There you go.
Noah.
Noah. It could be Noah.
Yeah.
Noah.
It says, and every one that have forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
And that's living with Yahushua, reigning with Yahushua for 1,000 years, man. You know, being in the kingdom, man.
Yeah, there's a reward.
That's that reward.
Yeah, there's a you know, a lot of because they asked Peter asked a good question, because we all ask that in our own way. You know what I mean? Like, when we gonna get, we done gave it up, everything. And I use that whenever I tell brothers to speak about this. You know, we use ourselves for example. Like, I don't. My family is way further than where I live at. And a nigga in the world be like, yo, I'm out of here. I'm going back home. But I'm like, nah, I sacrificed my time with them so we can do the work. the lands. I'm not originally. Yeah, we're not originally from the places that we preaching His word at. So we giving up those lands, and in the kingdom of heaven, we gonna get that 100-fold back. So that's that reward, like the elder was saying. I had that precept.
Got a precept. Oh, go ahead, Slack.
Second Esdras chapter 2, verse 42. I Esdras saw upon the Mount Zion. I Esdras saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads, he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel, and he said, Sir, what are these? And he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms in them, and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is this that crowneth?
The mortal clothing is these bodies being right now, because it's susceptible to death. The immortal, which means bodies that's not gonna be able to die, that's what we're gonna be put on when we get delivered by the chariots.
Right.
And it says, then said I unto the angel, What young person is this that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
Here we go.
Right.
I got a precept. This is Philippians chapter 3, verse 8. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Hamashiach, my Lord, for whom I suffer the loss of all things, and I count them but dung, that I may win Hamashiach Yahushua. That's Tlaki. Yeah, because that's what we're doing this for, Yahweh Shah's sake. We're not doing it for our sake, because everything we got in this world is going to be vanished anyway. It's going to vanquish. So this is what we're doing it for, the win of Yahweh Shah, and those crowns that the brother was speaking about. We want him to put those crowns on our heads.
Being in this state, man, is rough, man. It's like a walking on a tightrope, man. You got water on this side, fire on this side, the tail and the scriptures, man. That things it's gonna be tough, man. Being in this state of ours, man, it's real tough, man. So man, we gotta endure, man. And when you endure to the end, you receive that crown, man. Right.
Acts 14 and 22, and it reads, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Yahweh Shah.
What's that much tribulation? That much tribulation is Jeremiah 30 and 7, Jacob's struggle. Revelation 12 and 12. 2 Esdras the 15th and the 16th chapter. That's tribulation, man. That's why it says in the scriptures, woe is me. Who should deliver me from that time? 2 Esdras the 16th chapter, roughly from probably the 17th and the 18th verse. Woe is me. Who should deliver me from them things to come? Roughly paraphrasing, man. Because we gonna into some heavy times, man. Hey, the Apostle Dubois put out a video of some soldier going into what they doing in the dark of the night, man.
Yeah, you had friends in the National Guard.
Huh.
Yeah.
So when you look at that and you understand what's really going on behind the scenes, man, that's that sword that's being sharpened. We saw to Ezekiel, the 21st chapter, the 9th verse on down to the 12th.
That was I forgot the brother's name. That was the brother from LA that first did the video. So y'all should check that out. You know, the brother did a video about a guy who had friends in the National Guard, and the friends that he had in the National Guard was telling him some of the exercise they're doing is kind of weird, and they're doing it under the cover of darkness. So you got to ask yourself, what are those exercises about? What are they getting ready to do?
Well, and people forget about a couple years ago, you had the Jade Helm exercises, where they were exercising against civilians in an uproar, and they had the black woman, she was fighting out of a police car. Like, they forgot about that, but they're getting ready for that.
And then the precept in Ezekiel 21, it says, the sword is sharpened, right? So that's an example of the sword being sharpened, the fucking exercise. Why are they doing the exercise?
They put the whole, somebody put the whole thing up on the chat room in WhatsApp, but what the soldiers going, what the soldiers saying, you know, what they planning for. But yeah, it's deep, man. Because the Lord appointed 4 kinds of death for you people, man. Pursuant to Jeremiah, 15th chapter, the first verse on down to the 3rd verse, man.
And you know what, brother? That's the Most High, Yahweh Shai, showing us that He loves us. Because He's letting us know. If the Heavenly Father didn't give a shit about us, He wouldn't let us know shit.
That's right.
He said, fuck you niggas, I ain't gotta let you know nothing. But He letting us know, because that's an example of love. That shows love.
And it's heavy though, because it can prepare you, it puts fear in you, and make you keep on doing this work. You know what I mean? Keep you focused on being, being saved and being under the shadow of the Almighty, which is in Psalms, the 91st chapter. You know, stop putting the prayers night and day. You know, because you know that you gotta, focus on this truth and believe it. And put your trust and faith in the Lord, man.
I got a quick precept for you, going back to Matthew 13 about the seed.
Yes.
Now,
put your trust in you. How about you? What other answer is there?
This 1 Corinthians 3, we start at 6. It says, I have planted, Apollos watereth, but the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, give the increase. Yeah, that's us teaching.
Because basically, when the Most High put the Spirit on man to teach other men, He's planted, and you have another man come up and he will water, but the Most High is going to supplement you to give you the understanding, which is the Holy Spirit, man. And the Bible always bring out that the Holy Spirit is a bunch of angels that minister to you and give you the breakdowns of this truth, man. You know?
John 15.
It says,
You got a little more?
yeah, it's a little more. This is verse 7. So, yeah, it's a little more. It says, so then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but the Most High that giveth the increase. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with the Most High. Ye are the Most High husbandry, ye are the Most High building. That was the point, that we the Most High husbandry, which is a planter.
Planting the seed, and the seed is being watered by, other men, but the Most High give the increase.
Well, the seed is, the word of the Most High. Yeah.
Can I say this as a criticism? I don't criticize a lot, but learn how to break this one chapter. Learn how to break that one chapter down in one sitting. Let's not say, okay, we're in the 14th verse, we'll finish the next. Because that's what y'all were doing with Galatians, Genesis. All right, so try to hit the point, move to the next thing. Sometimes you go a little deeper, but sometimes hit the point, move to the next one. So we want to do this whole chapter. How many verses in that chapter? That's a long one, but we should be able to do it right now. Okay?
All right.
Yeah, make your point succinct.
Going back to what Apostle Paul mentioned, how the Lord cares about us, that's why He tells us these things. This is John 15 and 15. It says, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I call you friends, for all things I have heard of my Father, I have made it known unto you.
Will you read it again, brother?
It says, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made it known unto you.
Amos 3:7, the Most High revealed His secrets to the servants of the prophets. So the Most High revealed His secrets to us, man. So hey, the Lord put the Spirit on that service to make His tongue front upon Himself and put it out there, man. Not revealing who He was, but showing up, put it out there so the brother can make a video on it and put that out there so let brothers know what's coming down the pipe, man. Even though we already know, but it's confirming more that Esau, the so-called white man, is sharpening this sword, man. That's why King David prayed, Psalm 17, verse 13, deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword, which is thy hand, man. The hand of the Most High on the left-hand side to do His will. And the Lord's going to allow Esau to show his horns, man, real soon, man. And all you jakes out there that think you're tough, and all you women out there, black girls, what's it called? Women's summer, some shit like that. Hot girl summer and all that bathing, and they be doing, they find you fools on they neck and all that. The seduce men, they went out the window, man. That shit is wickedness, man.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 5. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away.
Those are some men that come into this thing, they walk past, they hear the truth, they, receive it, and then when tribulation come on, when they can't, when they see that things is getting tough, that this is too much for me, I can't deal with this. They break up. They was in Buddha. They was the fair word of Israelite. So they, when it's for the moment, because it was something for them to get into, But once that tribulation started coming, now he started getting on their ass, they was out, man. They was looking for the back door.
Verse 7. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. Verse 8.
That was the cares and the riches of this society, man. Them thorns is the cares and the riches of the society. Their women, their families, their jobs, tribulation also. And then when that time came where they had to stand firm for the word or bow out, they bowed out, man. Went back into the world, man. They truly didn't believe. And you're gonna have some, you're gonna read right now.
Verse 8. But others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold.
That started with the apostles on down. You got the apostles been longer than most of these guys in this camp was living. So you got, amen. So those are the ones that stand on good ground, man. And then you got the elders and the bishops that been in it for over 20-some years. Those are the men that was grounded and rooted in this truth, man, in this faith, man, in this thing, man. And you have some that's coming in, and they truly trying to grasp it. The Most High's not good with them, so they fall back out.
Verse 9. Who had asked to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And
that's about the elect. It is given unto the elect to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to the 2/3 is not given to them to know that, man. All these mysteries, everything that's coming down the pipe, watching what's going on around the world, man. Jack don't care about that, man. But we see what's going on through the prophecies, man. We see his upwards of the people, we see his family, we see his earthquakes, we see fires, we see all kind of manner of hell coming upon the earth, because the Lord is visiting the earth which he made. But the rest of the people, they don't care about that, man.
You're not part of the elect.
That's right. That's what they did. That's what they do.
All right, real quick. This is Psalms 25, verse 14. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant.
The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him. He will show them his covenants, man. And we see what's coming down the pipe. We see the things that the Lord has spoken about. Yahweh is speaking about in Matthew the 24th chapter, the 4th verse on down. 2nd Ezra 9:1, measuring the time. We see it, man. We got that spiritual eye. We can see it, man. But the rest, they don't see it.
That's why the scriptures reference this word as wisdom. And the word, you break down the word wisdom derived from the Latin word videre. And also we get the word which means to see. So a person that has wisdom is a person that could see. Like a wise mechanic is a person that has experience. He can see things before it happens because he has the experience. So when the Most High gives us his word, we could see the events that's going to foretell because it's in the scriptures. That's why it's wisdom.
Matthew 16 and 24, it says, Then Yahweh said unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life, and that's talking about doing his work. When you pick up the plow and do his work for Yahweh Shai, you have to deny yourself from this world, and get ready for tribulation and temptation. It says, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. 25th verse. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. That's what's going to happen to our people. They're going to try to save their life in the time of Jacob's trouble. They're going to end up really losing it. And the elect that choose to lose their life during Jacob's trouble, not receiving, not being punished, but not receiving the image of the beast when they truly gain their life. It says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for a soul? And that's what's going to happen to our people, because you're going to find death when you gain this world, man. That's why the elect is being sifted out of this place through the council of Yahweh shine to come out of this world. That's why the Lord said, come up out of her, my people, so long as see the place for sins.
Going into the good ground, the seed for the good ground. Second Ezra 8:62. These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee, and if you like thee.
Right. No, pretty much because the brother had said that concerning the parables. You can read that again, the last one.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 9. Who had ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
Right. The son is the same as the father. You know, the scriptures tell you in Proverbs 25:3, it's the glory of the Most High to conceal a thing. Most High, that's his glory, secrecy, right? People pay for a magician show. Why? Because they don't know how the trick is done. So the Most High glorifies his secret. He don't reveal it to a few. The same thing as it is. The few
And the few like thee.
exactly. Who's like us? Who's like one girl? And then doing the will of the Lord.
That's why it's cryptic. It's only open to the left.
Yeah, Matthew 7:6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine.
You can't just expound this on anybody, because a lot of people out there will mock you. And you start breaking down the scriptures of brothers in your family or people in that you know, trying to, your so-called friends, trying to enlighten them, trying to get them to wake up. And they turn around and mock you, man. They turn around and mock you, curse you out, look at you strange, call you a bug out. You know, your family turn their back on you. So read that again.
Stop there. Matthew 7.
And we all bug out. The deeper you come into this, the more bug out you become.
You become a hermit.
Meaning, hey, I'm thinking like lately, right? I don't know, the last 6 months, but lately, like when Medina lived, right? When we first moved down there, I used to talk to the people. I don't say, I appoint them, man. Hey, like the elevator, I tell y'all, I don't want to go on the elevator with them people. And when I go on the elevator, I hear the door. I don't want to connect to them, man. Period, man. And then when I do, like this this dude and his mother, when the COVID first came out, they was telling me the importance of taking the shot. But guess what? The guy got COVID after he took the shot. So now he's looking at me all different. So you can't, and I tried to explain it to him. You know? Oh, the president, Biden, he took the shots, he got the best food, the best doctors, everything. He got it, they gave him the shot, he got it again. Then they gave him more shots. So you don't want to talk to nobody. You try to go, you don't tell them the truth, but you try to go and try to get deep and call things. No. Well, my friend died. Well, he probably did drugs. You know what I'm saying? No, the president. That's why they're giving you the avian flu, the bird flu. That shit, people kept eating chicken. They said, fuck it. They don't believe in the government. Now the new thing is this. What's the new thing? Okay, polio. Oh, we found polio in the water system in New York City. But then a couple of weeks before that, I'm forgetting which viruses. What was the other one?
Monkeypox.
Huh? The whole birthday. Well, you can look at somebody and see if they're better or not. So they keep saying the same thing. If you take this virus, it's the same virus. That's to fuck up your whole system. I mean, I'm talking to quiet. But if you try to explain it to a person, they'll fuck up against you, they'll look at you funny, like something's wrong with you. So I don't want to even fucking talk to you, man.
They call it gaslighting. They call it gaslighting.
Yes, thank you. Yeah?
Matthew 7:6. It says, Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you.
And that's like what they do, man.
And they did that with IUIC. They got some churches got so tired of IUIC going on them that they actually jumped. One dude pulled out a 9, you know. The woman took off their shoes, knocking them over their head. Geno Jennings the FBI came and said, look, you want us to arrest these guys? He said, no. Because that was intimidation right there. So if you notice, they ain't doing that church blitzing no more because now they're getting their asses whipped. You know?
It was a dumb move to begin with.
It was a dumb move to begin with.
And that's where they bring you, man, because, hey, I was talking to my cousin, you know, the same cousin that I went to you for help with because, you know, when he was down that habit of now he's listening to me. Because what I'm doing, I'm giving him some certain things and he's saying himself he's not feeling them same, he's feeling more stronger than every day. I'm telling him what to do and he's doing it. But he was bucking at first, man. And that's because you taking the herbs doesn't mean the Most High is gonna deal with you. The Most High is gonna heal you, man. That can be your judgment, man. You know? But hey, it is what it is, man. You know? And because I told him, I was telling him the truth, he was mocking me and was saying that the Most High loves everybody, the Lord is not with them, but God you believe in, that the God you believe in is like the God of the Bible. I'm like, yo, bro, then I stopped teaching. Because, you know, the more I teach, you know, the more I was getting angry with this dude, man. So I was like, you know what? This is not for him. Let me leave him alone, man. So I left him alone. Left him to his own devices, man.
That's why the scriptures say, try the spirits. You can't just teach anybody on the spirit.
Like he was saying, you changing, bro. Now you got a beard. I see you got a beard, but you don't shave it up. You don't do nothing. A lot of things, it's like you just totally changed, man. I don't even know you no more. That's what he was telling me. I was like, hey, bro, you know, it is what it is, man. Sometimes you gotta grow up, man. Sometimes you just gotta move on and you know, and those are other things, man. That's beneficial to you. That's gonna help you. That's gonna deliver you. Meaning being in this truth, man. I try to tell him, but he's a lost cause. So I left him alone. Is there anything else?
Matthew chapter 13, verse 12. For whosoever had, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever had not, from him shall be taken away, even that he had.
That's a man that's in this truth, that's increasing in faith, that's increasing in knowledge. You know, the Most High gonna keep on feeding them. But then you got some men that be in this truth, and they fall out. And whatever they obtain being in this truth, they lose it. The Lord takes it from them. Slowly but surely, it's called gradualism. The Lord gradually increase your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and He also could gradually take it from you.
Luke 12, verse 48, it says, I start at 47. It says, and that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will be beaten with many, shall be beaten with many stripes. But
that's the men that know that they're Israelites, that know they should be teaching them 100% doctrine, but they take that bag, sit down. They say that the Ark of the microchip is not the mark of the beast, man. Or they say that the Ark of the microchip is sleeping with white women on an embargo. They telling you things and they tell you to take the jab, you know. So they know that these things are off, but they took that back, so they have to teach it. They got a 501c3 charter, which was issued by Lyndon Baines Johnson in the 50s, and he was a senator. That they can muzzle you from muzzle you speaking the truth in these churches, man. So now, I should say it's a gag order. So now they can't teach the truth. So now they being limited what they can say to you, but they can teach their congregation.
It says, but he that knew not and did commit things worthy of strike shall be beaten with few stripes.
And the men that don't know, hey, Apostle Geno Jenkins saying, he said, can you eat pork? He said, ha ha, with that wicked ass grin. Yeah, you can eat pork. Which is totally against the scriptures, man. And them boneheaded zombies in this congregation don't read the scriptures. They don't know that it's telling you not to eat swine. Then he bring up, that's the Old Testament. What about the New Testament? Oh, when Peter was knocked off the horse, they all try to justify it with the situation with Peter being knocked off the horse. And Paul was knocked off the horse. Paul's being knocked off the horse and telling him to eat unclean beasts. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, no.
Well, you got them stories. Take for breathe, dog. Breathe. Breathe.
Relax.
And it was Peter. Did you say Peter?
Yeah, I said Peter. Yeah. Sorry. They said it was Paul.
Knock off the horse. Anyway, Christians use that, the unclean beast. When you read that story, that's a breakdown right there. When you read that story, what happened? The sheep was let back up, and Peter thought on what did it mean. He knew it didn't mean actually eat. It was talking about the Israelite foreigners.
Yeah.
And he talking about eating pork.
Yep.
Then the one guy, Alan Carr, that guy, I don't know if y'all know this guy, Alan Carr. He's like a Christian Jake, called Christian Jake. But he did a video, and I might present it to y'all, all the, I think it was 11 to 12 questions to ask the Israelites. So next week I might present it to y'all, all right? Question by question. But anyway, he said this. What did he use? What scripture did he use? One scripture to justify where he totally went off. I believe he used Peter, and I believe he used the one where it says it's not that goes in your mouth that's foul. And then they say it's pork. They just talk about dirt because you don't wash your hands.
Yeah.
So these guys are checking it out. It's showing you, that's why, guess what? Every video that we do, they Christians watch all our videos. You know why? Because they're learning from us. They're building from us.
Yeah, because we go in the
So we got to constantly go head to head with them there. Every time Pro-Cat make a video, I'm right on this fucking ass, man.
Yeah, on TikTok, there's a huge presence of Christians now going into the Bible. They got Bible study, and it be Israelites. Yeah, they all be trying to get people.
Yeah.
That's why when that family in the world comes in, they come from that stuff. All them Christians that secretly watch our videos and you know, trying to keep their congregation, because a lot of people are waking up to the fact that they're Israelites. So once the famine of the word comes, when we ain't out here on the streets, and it's total lockdown on the internet, what the hell they gonna do? What are they gonna do in the end?
Total chaos and no real answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be spicy.
And they're waiting for the rapture. The rapture ain't gonna come.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the 7-year tribulation.
Yeah.
They quote from Daniel the 9th chapter. Daniel the 9th chapter already took place.
You're right.
I got a precept to back up what the pastor said. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 15. It says, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist."
You know.
That's the truth, man. The 100% truth, man. The 100% breakdown of this. They can't.
You see how they're looking at us? See how they're looking at us? They're looking. You know what scripture come to mind? About
Corinthians 4:9.
spectacle. There was another scripture.
Which one?
It's dealing with Joshua the high priest. He said they were men wondered at.
Oh, men wonder that. Yeah.
They were men wondered. That's why everybody's looking.
Yeah.
They were men wondered
Wonder that. Yeah.
What the hell is going on? What do they say? What is going on about? What
Oh,
they
well,
say?
that's a white girl with 2 Jakes.
She's looking to add to her collection.
But she got it. She might be Jake. She might be Jake.
It's all right. That's a real quick.
Go ahead.
And it says the idea of the rapture is the idea of the rapture as it is currently defined is not found in historic Christianity, but is relatively recent doctrine of evangelical Protestantism. The term is most frequently used among evangelical Protestants theologians in the United States. Rapture has also been used for a mystical union with God or for eternal life in heaven. So that whole doctrine of the rapture is not even found.
Made it up.
Back in Luke chapter 12, verse 48, it says, "But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more."
You got these jakes like they don't really know what's going on, so they out here committing all kind of sins. And the Most High, hey, they're gonna be getting restricted because they're part of the 2/3. But the men that know that they're Israelites and not obeying the law, statutes, and commandments and take bags, they're gonna be beaten with many stripes, man. They're gonna show that the tougher punishments. You know, you the oldest, you gonna get. You know, back when you was a kid, your father, they start with the oldest on down to the little bit. You the oldest, you know not to do this, so I'm just gonna whip your ass the hardest, but they gonna get it beaten, but not as much as I'm gonna whip your ass. Because that's how the Lord is gonna deal with the Jake that know the truth and Jake that don't know the truth. Right.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 14. "And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which said, By hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see, and shall not perceive." For this people's heart is waxed gross, and the ears are dull of hearing, and the eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and should be healed.
And that's show me that the Old Testament and the New Testament is where it's that on spot, because he's teaching from Isaiah. You can get that in Isaiah 9 and 6 and 9, because he was showing you that this truth, both books coincide with each other, man. Read that real quick.
This is Isaiah 6 and 9.
In other words, the Old Testament gives you the reason why Yahweh Shai spoke in parables. They're using the reference in the Old Testament to prove why Yahweh Shai spoke in parables. Because the word is not for every Israelite, it's only for the elect.
It's Isaiah 6 and 9. It says, go, and he said, go and tell this people.
Which people? The Israelites, man. 2/3 and the elect. You know, tell everybody, man. That's why you got this thing about what's on the internet, and it's being spread throughout the four corners of the earth, man.
The whole world.
The whole world's gonna know this thing about us, yeah, B.
Because the Israelites are scattered over the whole world.
Right.
So they all got to hear this word. That way, like Yahweh Shai said, they have no what? Cloak. No cloak for their sin, no excuse.
That's right. Isaiah 6 and 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not.
Hear ye indeed, but understand not. Hear the words that's being presented to you by his prophets, but understand not. What the hell is going on? That's why you have these people in cars looking at us like we bugged out.
And they all heard it. Because in Romans, what is it? Romans the 10th chapter says.
So, this is Romans chapter 10, verse 17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing the word, and hearing by the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily their sound went into all the earth.
All the earth. How is that possible? Through the internet, man. Yeah. Especially with Great Millstone. When we came on YouTube, summer of 2007, that's when this thing really blew wide open.
Yep.
You know? And there's a reason. The Heavenly Father Yahweh got to say, the Heavenly Father Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai, used Elder Pastor, because, you know,
And you.
Yeah. Right. The reason why I say Elder Pastor is we all know his name is Vernon. Vernon means a spring-like man. So he used that man
Don't
to
be
spring.
giving up my slave name, brother.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. There's a point to be made, though. There's a point to be made. Remember, a name, Norman Omen. Name prediction, right?
Yep.
So the man was given that name because the Lord used him to push this truth.
He that believeth on me, as the scriptures say, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. We was taught in the name of Yahweh Shai, and that's the spring.
Yep. And my name is Joseph. Joseph means he will add. So I'm to add to this man. So it's all beautiful when you see it.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
It says, but I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world.
That's right.
And you know what proved that? Great Millstone, we got camps all over the whole world. We got a camp in Italy of all places. Where's IUIC Italy? Don't exist, man.
I'm in an island, man. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but I heard the word.
There you go.
Yeah.
But we said real quick.
This is Psalms 19, verse 2. Day unto day are his speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
Because on YouTube, you could switch from saying the truth to your respective language, man. Represent Swahili, represent Jamaican, you know, whatever language you have, you can just switch it over to, you know what I'm saying? Represent Japanese, Chinese, you can switch the language from English to your respective language, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to hear this word, man. And that's why this truth has spread throughout the four corners of the earth. GMS Holland.
We got 10 minutes.
GMS Holland. GMS Holland. GMS Italy. GMS
Australia.
GMS Nigeria, England.
Yeah. Tanzania. Got a brother in Tanzania.
So you know, hey man, so show me. Brothers in Bolivia. Dominican Republic. Just to name a few. I mean, we be all night trying to name all the lands, but they got Great Millstone video. It's a Great Millstone campsite, man. That's because this truth is spread throughout the four corners. That's why we knew we're at the end. So, let me finish that out.
All right, after this is Isaiah 6, verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not.
That's where those that's not a part of the elect, they're going to see this. I mean, this great campfire, all these men are teaching the word, and they ain't going to understand what the hell is going on. They'll make mockery of it. They stand for a little while, oh, that's bullshit, and walk away. Or they'll murmur, and just keep it moving, you know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that was, and they mock themselves.
They've already been mocked. Yeah.
They don't understand what's going on, so being that they don't understand, instead of inquiring a little more to understand what it's about, they stop mocking and making, making jokes about the matter. And I know this is deadly serious, man. Read.
It says, make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed.
Now the Hebrew word for heart is love between the mind. Understand in your mind, see with your eyes and see what's going on. Watching what's going on with the four corners of the earth. We see what's going on, man. We got fires, we got earthquakes, you got famine, you have, whether it's manufactured or not, it's a famine. You have pestilence, you have wars, you have rumors of wars, you have uproars of the people. We see all these things coming down, so we see with our mind, see with our eyes, and we perceive with our eyes, and we hear everything that was coming down the pipe, and we understand. So we come back in the truth, we convert it, and now we heal. The Lord's going to heal us, man. And healing come by the healing of the word, man. And you people have no clue what's going on, man. And that's why you're gonna have a hard way to go, man. Mainly these women out there.
This is Matthew 12 and 39. But he answered and said to them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. That's talking about two different things. Back here again. And there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. Now what that means? It's talking about the prophets, man. That's the only signs people get. But look, you don't see thousands of millions of people here. The only sign to get is the prophets and the prophet here. That's like over at the end. But you have a big crowd. The Lord really wants a great cluster of his people to be elect.
Small sanctuary.
Small sanctuary.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 7. Then said I, look, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Yahweh.
Absolutely. The Lord's word is in this book, man. And these words are faithful and true, man. And everything that's been prophesied to come to pass, it has come to pass, and it's going to surely come to pass, man. It's a major prophecy that's waiting, that we're waiting to come to pass, which is that see him. But there's other prophecies that's coming to pass day by day, man. And all these words are faithful and true, man. And now we see them starting to talk. Now these words are starting to speak. And the Most High President of the world, which he made. Look what's going on, man, in Kentucky, California. Look what's going on in Europe. Look what's going on in South America. Look what's going on even in America. They're not publicizing on the media. All kind of hell is breaking loose, man. Only the elect is going to get this. Only the elect is going to see. It's a little more. How long are they going to be like this?
Verse 11. Isaiah 6 and 11. Then said I, Lord, how long?
This is Isaiah asking the Lord how long these people are going to be in this state. State of stupid, state of being having a what way of thinking, man.
And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate.
Until Yahweh crack the skies, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance. I like saying it's the triple D's: death, destruction, and deliverance. Until that assembly of great nations come, and as soon as the Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, the 9th verse on down, and shoot missiles on this place over here, man. Until the place be utterly destroyed, man. The same must know at the death by pain. That's what they're going to know, that who we be telling them was the truth, man. They got to go through that pain. They got to go through that torture of being zapped by them chariots and being burnt to death by the nuclear missiles, or dying by the famine.
By them chariots.
Or being put to death by the sword and embraced by it.
And that clap reminded me, you started clapping like this. I remind Mo, somebody said something years ago on West, and we clapped for about half an hour, right? And Mo said, that's spiritual clapping.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them.
Those are the prophets. Oh, you are the same. We are them same prophets coming back. We are them same prophets coming back. Guess what? The prophets of old are really seeing the things that was spoken, that they spoke about back then. It's happening right now. It's something called reincarnation. And all them prophets that was prophesizing of the downfall of these different nations, they seeing it now. They heard the things that was before, now they hearing it now, and they understand. We are the men that was coming back. Our righteous are part of that elect. We are the men that was back there teaching this word, man. The same prophets coming back, man. It's like it's called regeneration. You know, back. Free means back, and carnal means the flesh. Back in the flesh.
This is 2nd Ezra 14, verse 35. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then the names of the righteous. Then the name of the righteous. It's like read again. 2nd Ezra 14, 35. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
You see that right now, the works of the ungodly is being declared. Look what's going on right now. We got the African community out here running rampant. That's the works of the unrighteous being declared, man. And you got the works of the righteous being manifest. Look what we doing out here, man. The men out here on the harvest and the bow, it's in season, out of season, teaching 100% truth, man. Warning the people, pursuant to Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, the first verse from down. Pursuant to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, 17th verse, man. Warning the people, we are watching unto the people, man.
You got 3 minutes.
And I brought this out because our brother going into reincarnation of the prophets. You know, you have the prophets back then, like you read it on Matthew 13, it said many of the prophets, if I'm paraphrasing, wanted to see the times that we're in now. You know, but as the scripture just said, you know, the reincarnation, they're back. You know, and everything's being made manifest. Like the Lord told Daniel, at the end of the days, you're going to stand in your lot. You know, so the prophets come back in their lot, 2/3 come back in their lot.
Yeah. Everybody come back in their respective lot, man. Hey, man, I hate to be a part of the 2/3, man. They're going to see the hell of judgment.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 18. Hear you therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then come the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside.
Yeah, because you know, once you come in this thing and you walk by and you hear the truth, man, you know, instead of you taking heed, you may hear something and it may rest in your brain, but by the time you walk in the block, that shit is out your head, one end after the other, man. You don't forgot about what you don't heard, man. You know, so that's the unbelievers, man. But when you believe something and you believe it truly in your mind and you hear it, you know, that seed is going to be planted. You're going to go home and you're going to cultivate that seed. You're going to start studying. You're going to write something down and take heed to it and go back in your leisure time and read about it and study it, man, and look into it. And then come back the next week and ask questions. See if you got it right. And then while you're there taking notes, while they're bringing out scriptures. So that's the man that's planted on strong ground. It's planted on solid ground.
Verse 20. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same as he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it.
Yeah, anon means immediately.
He receive it immediately, be happy, and then after some tribulation comes, or everything he have learned was out the window. You know, everything he learned was out the window. Now he's calm. Instead of in this situation I got in, man, where I could have gotten carnal, but I did.
You got another 10 minutes. Yeah.
But I could have gotten on the water. But I could have gotten carnal, but I didn't, man. You know, I thought, you know, spiritually, and I got out of that situation, man. There's been plenty of times, man, where I can, you know, where I was in a situation where, you know, Jake trying to get physical with me, but I gotta, you know, talk my way out of it, man. I gotta think for this too and think for myself. And she don't have no brains in this head, you know what I'm saying? And the Lord delivered me from that.
Verse 21. Yet had he not root in himself, but do it for a while, for when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended.
That meaning you in this truth, hey, you in this truth, you learning, and then your boss may drive by and see you, or your woman tell you, listen, I don't like how, you know, they talk about women. I don't like that, man. I'm gonna give you an ultimatum. Either you're gonna be with me, or you're gonna be with them. See you.
See you. Even among the brotherhood. Yeah. You know, camp leader gets on the guy, and he catches an attitude.
Yeah,
and after a while, he becomes offended. A lot of guys will fall out because they don't want to take order. Jake got a problem with taking order from another Jake that looks like him.
Right.
You know? And that's heavy because earlier at the camp, our camp, we were going through order. If you watch our video, we went through the scriptures dealing with order. There's order in this thing, man. Every man ain't the same, man. Even when Yahushua set up the 12, he did not set up order. Who's the head? Was everybody the head?
Peter.
No, Peter was the head.
Right.
Then you had John on down the line. And then we brought out the example of when both Peter and John, you guys have read it, both Peter and John ran to the sepulchre. Now John outran Peter, right?
Yeah.
But did John just go into the sepulchre?
No, he stopped.
No, he waited for Peter, and then Peter went into the sepulchre. You know why? Because that's order. That's order. That's the moral that you get out of that. No, we brought that out. Through the Spirit. The Spirit.
Now you were just reading that scripture. It said the seed was on stony ground. But what's the significance of it? Because you know, if you take a seed and you try to sow a seed on concrete, it's not going to grow. That's why I said, I'll read real quick. It says, but he that received the seed into stony places, the same as he that heareth the word, and with joy received it. They quickly or immediately received it. Like the way that it looked, cursing out woman, cursing out the white man, cursing out homosexuals.
He got his t-shirt fringes on.
He got his t-shirt fringes on. But then it says
spectacular garments.
But then it says, yet he hath not root in himself. A seed that's sown among stony ground, it's not going to have no root. Yeah. That's significant. That's why I'm saying seed by the wayside, seed among stony ground. So it's not just saying that to fill the page, it's there for a reason. Yeah. And then it says, he dureth for a while. He endured for a while, but the seed that's sown among stony ground, it's only a matter of time till the seed gets crushed. It's not going to be able to germinate into the soil. Right. It's like a person that's sold.
Perfect example. We're talking about him. I didn't know you watched the same video. This guy that was down with Shabbat, right? He was like a filmmaker on the Folky channel.
Nice and
he was going on how they fucked him over. Right. But guess what? The last time he put up the video was 8 months ago. So he got offended, but he fell out the truth.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he knows he's an Israelite, but he's still teaching.
Right.
You got to keep going.
Got to keep going.
What you offended in that?
That's
guy
right.
from Mississippi. Now he was in for what, 14 years? So he endured for a while, but he got offended because he wasn't pulling his weight. So the camp members under him, because he feels he's camp leader, how dare the little guy in the camp tell me what to do? But you wasn't pulling your weight. So the camp members, they started getting on him. They said, look, this guy is not pulling his weight. He don't deserve to be over the camp. So eventually he got offended by that. And he lost his position. He lost his rank. So this thing is very real.
It's a little bit more. It said, yet hath he not root in himself, because you know the seed is the word, but dureth for a while, but when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, by and by he is offended. And that was really explained.
Yeah.
Chapter 14, verse 28, it says, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
Counting the cost in this thing, man, is what you're going to go through this thing. Losing your family, losing your job, losing everything that you have, bro. Everything for Yahushua sake, man. That's counting the cost, man. You got to sit down and realize and analyze it, man. Am I worthy of this? Is it worth everything that I'm going to give up? Do I truly believe in everything? Do I truly believe in this thing?
Do I understand? Do I understand what
Do I
I'm
understand
doing?
what I'm into?
I come out here on the concrete whole post. Do I understand why I'm doing that? That's true.
Do I truly understand? Do I truly believe in this thing to give up everything that I have, my family? Do I really believe so? You gotta count the cost. And some you gotta examine something. Most men don't do that, man. They come to this thing, they receive the word, and then next thing you know, they back out. Whether it's a woman that pull them out, whether it's some kind of tribulation, whether it's some kind of misunderstanding, or they got offended by what somebody said. What the teacher said.
Camp leader problem. They were showing up late to the camp. Right. So the camp leader said, look, if you show up late one more time, you're going to be suspended. Notice, right, guys who get suspended, after a while, they get suspended too many times. Yeah. Like the scripture say, that he that often reprove, hardeneth his neck. Yeah. So after a while, say, fuck this. Yeah. You know?
You got to preach stuff to back you up.
Yeah.
About the camp leader, Mississippi. This is about 3 and 7. So it says, fear the Lord, for the kingdom.
6. 3 minutes and we out.
That's after he laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
He was in the truth for 14, 15 years, 16 years, and then that's fell out, man. So now, how you get mocked? It's men in the camp. It's going to mock him, man. They may give him a name, put him a name, that's that name. He came to this thing and built for a long time, over 15 years, before this life to this ministry, and then gave up and then back into the book.
And in the world, you got people that might have seen you out there teaching. Like, what happened? I thought you was one of the Israelites.
Yep.
Yeah.
The fear of the Lord goes before the attainment of authority, but roughness from pride is the illusion thereof.
Back up what you were saying about the read up this city.
He sounded like a bunch of us. This is some things he's been saying. He sounded like he's gone. So, and then he got that look, man. He got a bugged out look about him. He's saying, I don't know what happened. His confidence, show a man confidence, God tell him what he's about, man. Look at him now. You see, he got a darkened confidence now, man. At first he had a little light about him. Now he look how he look now, man.
Teaching with the he's gonna be watching this video. He's gonna make a comeback with Stone. I can already feel. So at least you watch this video, then you make a comeback. Yeah. See, you guys not crossing your leg.
Watch the whole thing.
It shows though. It shows it. It shows in his speech, man.
Scriptures don't lie, man. Scriptures don't lie.
Talk about people who told you.
God in Israel.
Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law doth he meditate day and night, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth its fruit in season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth, it shall prosper. That's a good seed, man. So let's give that book. Right? We're not putting forth the God, Israel, Proverbs 22.
And with that, we're going to close.
Proverbs 22:1. A good name, regardless to be chosen in great riches. And a good name, like the gospel of knowledge, is bad names, relevant. Ultimately, you need a good name if you how about you now a shot. It says, and lovely favor rather than silver and gold. Lovely favor. And if you go to the one, this is how it is made. You might get a power.
So with that, we'll close. Whatever verse we left off, what verse? 22? 22?
Back to 22, yeah.
Okay. All right, so next week. But we're going to do that other thing next week. All right? So, line up.